In this lesson we're going to talk about trims on walls. In a previous lesson I showed you how to replace the walls, and this is going to be the bathroom in this design. So the walls that are a different colour are 70mm walls with plasterboard one side, wet area board on the other. If I highlight a wall and go to the properties of that, you'll notice in my preview window on the side I've got corners to the top and I've got a skirting board on the bottom. If I rotate the wall on one side, I've got a skirting tile. So that is, I'm nominating that side to be wet area board. Okay. Underneath the trim I have cornice and I have skirting tile. So that is being applied to the left interior surface. I've done that on all of my walls that have skirting tiles on. I've left the skirting tile on the left interior surface. If I drop this list down, I can apply trim to the left side, the right side and the exterior sides. If I go to the right side, you'll notice that the baseboard or the skirting is just a skirting board. So we'll assume that the wall on the right in this image, this is the right side, and if I turn it around, this is the left side. How do I know what is the right side and the left side? So if I hit OK and go and have a look at that, you'll notice that the wall, if I touch it, has a green point, a blue point and a red point. So that green point, as I mentioned in a previous lesson, that is the start point. That's why it's green and that's red. So the red is the end point, green is the start point, blue naturally is the middle point. So if I've gone into that properties of the trim, on the left side I've got skirting tiles. So if that's the start point and we're travelling down in this direction from the bottom to the top of the screen, then the left side of the wall is on this side and the right side of the wall is on that side. If the wall was drawn the other way from the top to the bottom, the green point would be up here, so therefore the left side would be on this side of the wall and the right side would be on that side of the wall. You've got to imagine yourself standing on that green point and walking down the wall to work out what is the left side and the right side. To show you how this will affect things is if I go into a section, now I haven't got any sections, so I'm just going to create a section. So I'll pick a point here, drag it through the wall and then drag it as far as I want to, so that'll create a section in that area. So now the section's available to be looked at, and you'll see the back wall, which is the outside wall's got skirting tiles on it. And if I roll in on this wall here, you'll notice that there's a skirting tile on that side of the wall, but there's a skirting tile on that side and just a normal skirting board on that side, and that is correct because this side is the bathroom. But this other wall, you will notice that the skirting tile's on the wrong side. There's the skirting and that's the skirting tile. So I want, in my section, to make it right, I want to get that over here. So what you need to do is, if you want to be that precise, then you highlight the wall and you can actually see that the green point is down here, which is the start point. So I want to actually turn the wall around. So please take note that the room size is 2400. So if I delete that wall now and then come and grab my internal walls, and I want plasterboard wet area board, that's the wall I want, but this time I'll draw it from the top to the bottom. Okay, making sure that stays at 2400. It has. So now I've started up there and I've ended down here. So I've basically reversed the way the wall was running. Now just double click on this section, that'll take you back in and see what I've done. I've fixed it up. So I've got my skirting tile all in the room. So as far as your section is concerned, now that'll be correct. You'll notice the top is correct, the cornice is running in the right direction, and it's set 10mm down so that my ceiling sheet will fit into there. And down the bottom of the wall, you'll notice that I've got my skirting tile and my skirting lifted up off the bottom 10mm, so that my carpet and tiles will fit into that portion for my section, and that'll make that correct. coming back to the trim, so basically I can select a crown. They call it a crown, we call it a cornice, so I've nominated the description as a cornice. If I want to change that, I just hit the select button and come and select what cornice I want. Now I've drawn it in as a cove cornice, but basically, you know, you could just have a rectangular cornice if that's easier for you. So it's up to you how you want to drive that thing. Basically, if I go and edit that particular element, you can see you can have a rectangular type of trim, or you can have a custom. So mine is set to be a custom, then go select profile, and this is where you draw it. So if I click into here, I can then use this function, which I'm not going to go into right at the moment, but you're able to draw whatever profile you want the shape to be, and therefore it'll replace the rectangular part with the correct profile. The skirting board, exactly the same. You just go and say select, go and find the skirting you want, which is say that one, hit OK, and you're done. Drop it down, go to the right side and select the cornice and the skirting and so on. Okay. What you do need to realise is on an external wall, if I click to the external surface, that is where you actually add your windowsill. So you might want to go and grab that, go and grab a sill and default windowsill. There you have it. So if it was an external wall, that's where your sills are applied. So as far as trim's concerned, just remember the application of a trim. You've got a left side, a right side and an exterior side. Alright. What I'd like to do now is to keep going with trim and just show you one of the functions that you can use with trim. To do that, I want to replace this end wall just with an external linear board wall. Okay, so we'll just go that one for the time being. And what I want to do is just have a look at that in 3D so that you can see what's happening with this. Okay, so basically with this exterior wall, you'll notice that I haven't got it extended down to the ground, but I'm not worrying about that, because the functionality I want to show you with this wall is some walls we might have part of the cladding being, say, linear board, and we might have part of the cladding being colour bond. Now to achieve this, you use trim. So if I go to the exterior surface of this wall, and let's say I want a baseboard, which is a skirting, and go select, I can then go and set up any sort of cladding. Now in this case, what I've got here is some colour bond. So if I set up this colour bond and I go to edit, you'll notice the colour bond is 900 high. We can come in here and make that any height you want basically, but we'll just leave it at 900. And if I set that, you can see over on the right hand side in the image what it's doing to the outside wall. So I'm achieving a mixture of textures on the external cladding by using trim. So if I go OK on that, there's my wall. Now if I go and put a window or a door in there, it'll cut around that. So I'll just go and throw a door in there or a window in there, and you'll see what it does. See how it's cut around that trim? So that's how you will achieve having different materials to the outside of a wall rather than being all weatherboard or brick. Okay. I think that just about covers us on trim. So that's showing you how to attach your cornice, your skirting tile, which way a wall runs from the start to the end, which is the green to the red. So now you know which side is the left and the right side of the wall, depending on starting at green and walking along the wall. And also how to do a mixture of external cladding using the trim on your exterior surface. Okay, I think that's it for this lesson. Thank you.